Hi, hello, everybody. Welcome into That Sounds Gay. My name is Jer, and our gay sound presented by Jesse today is...
Oh!
The shock, the awe,
I
surprise.
feel like I've done getting caught off guard before, but it's always gay to be unprepared.
It's always so gay to be unprepared. But after you just said that you were born ready.
Yeah. The POV was getting called on to present something you forgot you're presenting and you just knocked over your drink.
Very Evie Oddly during the roast challenge. She dropped all her cards.
It's okay to fail.
It's okay to fail.
That's gays take that to heart.
That was so fun going through All Star 7 again. And this week and next, we are in season 1 of France, starring Nikki Doll, which the entire intro is about how she was born to be famous.
I was about to say, okay, the first thing I wrote in my France notes is Nikki Doll gave herself the "You were born to do drag" edit.
She said, I was not George's, but damn it, I will be.
I love the slightly hopscotching around her length of time on the show.
Right.
Or it was like, I, Nikki Doll, faced so much in my life, but I was always born for greatness and born to do better things. And then I was on RuPaul's Drag Race season 12, and then it all took off.
You would think she was a finalist based off of that intro.
I feel like she got more fanfare than Brooklyn did.
Brooke was like, hi, everyone. Welcome to Canada's Drag Race. Don't mind me.
Hi, I'm
not
Ellen.
here. Which is so funny because this is now the second Rue girl to be a host, right? Because we had Brooke first. I don't think nobody else did.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
But Valentina will be soon. She hasn't been announced. Her short
Joined by
Lolita Banana, right?
Yeah.
I'm so gagged. Okay. I'm getting ahead of myself, but I love her.
Lolita Banana is the breakout star of the season.
I love her so much.
Yeah, too long don't read. Lolita Banana is the breakout star of this season.
She is the star, the icon. But yeah, it's so interesting. The fanfare that happens at the beginning to celebrate Nikki's success on the post-drag. I mean, I love that she's celebrating it, but it's just so like, damn, girl, you were on 4 episodes?
It's so funny because I remember there's so much who's Brooke think she is trying to take RuPaul's spot, and I feel like Nikki's is so I'm fabulous. But I mean, yeah, good for her. Love the confidence.
I was just watching a bunch of the Snatch Games. Do you remember in season 3 when Alexis was like, girl, I'm pregnant and I'm fierce? That was Nikki. She was like, girl, I'm French and I'm fierce. So we're starting Friends 1. I never perceived. This is my first time watching. You watched a little bit of it?
So I was watching it as it was coming out, and I actually gave up on it. So you've already been there. You already know the episode after Cam goes home.
Okay. That was the one that was your diva.
She wasn't even my diva. She wasn't even my mocha diva, but but I just by that point, after that lip sync to DJ, quote unquote.
Yeah.
I was like, this season ain't it for me.
That's so
I'm
fair.
so sorry. So sorry.
Sorry, Nikki Doll. I know you're listening.
Yes, you're still born to do drag.
Sorry, France producers. I know you're listening.
But I just kind of checked out, and then I just would watch the runway highlights back when I had Instagram.
Okay.
Because
right.
It was still that era. Well, no, I'm sure it still is the era.
They still show up.
Where it's as soon as the episode's up, you can watch a reel of the entire runway, basically.
The episode barely finishes even finishing it. It's they're about ready to do the runway and they've already posted the photos.
Yeah, so it was very much like that where I was like, well, I'm just not going to keep watching the season. I'm still going to, see all the important things, which are the runway.
What do you think the problem is with France, in your opinion?
So
let's get into this. Let's get the heavy questions out of the way.
Because I think sometimes it's not even it's the fault of anyone that we saw on our screen.
No.
But because there's so many moving parts, and I also talked about this before we were filming, where it's every country has its own landscape of reality television. And so it's always interesting because like I don't really know what the landscape of French TV is like.
Right.
Because obviously we saw a hand in that with Italy,
Very
where
much so.
it was very much a product of where it's made. Negative.
Drag is
Blasphemous.
Blasphemous. Being gay, bad. Don't be homosexual.
It's like a remix of Phenomenon, but it's like drag is blasphemous. Anyways, so I don't know how much of it is like it being a product of French television because I don't perceive, but
Sure.
I feel like it's kind of like the girlies in the room were experiencing it a certain way. They're probably experiencing it as Drag Race to them, as their perception of Drag Race.
Right.
And then the people off screen are producing it a certain way.
Totally.
Whether it be like per like that production company, how they handle other projects, how they're detailed to like handle this project, whatever.
Yeah.
And then there's the team that's editing it.
That has a completely different idea.
Yeah, it's one person from each group project coming together to do a group project.
Everybody did their equal parts at home.
Oh, yeah.
And then they all came together and someone had, you know what it is?
Give it.
Do you remember in Cheetah Girls 2?
Oh my God.
When
What?
Galleria was doing the piano stuff on her own and none of the girls were singing with her. And then you have Aqua designing clothes with Galleria's mom somewhere else. And then you've got Dorinda practicing dancing for the song they didn't even rehearse, that hasn't even been written. And then Chanel's like running around with Belinda in España.
España.
That's what this whole thing is. It's the Cheetah Girls 2. And the whole production team are the Cheetah Girls. And the cast are Belinda. Just like
Amigas,
bopping.
cheetahs.
Friends for life.
Friends for life. Where there's an angel around every corner. Wow.
That's what this whole season is. It's the Cheetah Girls 2.
I don't think it's as good as the Cheetah Girls. Sorry.
Still.
Okay. Do you know what my biggest problem with this season is?
Tell me.
The WoW Presents Plus app does not want me to watch it.
No.
At the WoW Presents Plus employee listening, what the fuck is happening with this season? This
What is
season,
going on?
España has this problem. Specifically, España 4 really had it bad.
Yeah.
I don't know if earlier Spaniards have it too, but France has this problem bad where I swear when I was trying to rewatch Bonjour, 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 it would get like 2 entrances, crash.
Yeah.
Another 2 girls, crash. Took me like 3 to 5 business days to watch the first episode.
I told Jesse before we started recording, I watched Paloma's talent show performance 6 times because the app kept refreshing. And I'm like, I can't watch this again. I can't.
And it's like, I've sent the feedback.
Mm-hmm.
I've told them what browser I'm on. I've told them what iOS I'm on. I've told them I've cleared my cookies
Yeah.
and my cache. And
Vintage cachet.
and nothing fixes it.
No. I had to drop to 720p. Do you know how embarrassing it is to be in 720p in 2025?
I probably could get a better quality pirated version of it at this point.
Easily. You could find a slime tutorial.
I could watch it. Yeah, I could watch a screen recording of it
And it would be a 1080.
in 12 parts on TikTok, and I'm sure it would be a better watching experience.
Have you ever watched a full ass movie on TikTok in 12 minutes?
You know,
I mean, you're not on TikTok.
well, yeah, I was about to say I'm not on TikTok, but there was something. It was like it might have been a Beyonce concert that was sent to me, and it was a TikTok video, and it was so long. It ended up like all of the parts ended up. It was like 2 hours worth of footage,
Got
just
it.
like broken up into TikTok. Also Twitter, like sometimes like
Oh, yeah.
rips. Like I watched a movie on Twitter once. I don't remember what movie. Oh, I think I watched The Substance on Twitter. Like
Oh,
the week after I saw it, my friend said to me like the entire movie's on Twitter right now.
that's insane.
And I couldn't get my phone to go in a landscape.
You were watching it in
Portrait,
vertical.
yeah.
And that was still probably better quality than
Then
France
France
1
on
on the
WoW
WoW
Presents
app.
Plus app, yeah.
Insane. I think you said it best before we started recording that the problem with France is that it's like one of those trendy Instagram
Oh, I
restaurants.
did say that. Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
giving aesthetic, cute, like fun, trendy restaurant. And you always see like the pictures of the pastry or the dish on social media.
Mhm.
And then you go to eat the dish and it does not taste good.
Right. And you're like, this did not look that way on the photo.
Yeah, I'm not
Thought it
talking
was
about
gonna be a lot
we're not
better.
talking about the women themselves. This isn't a Facetune clock.
No, no,
I'm
no, no,
talking
no.
about the cohesive package that is this program
The entire
and how
program.
it's edited, mastered. Speaking of which, there's just random stretches where there's like no music or anything. Like the part, like
Right.
jumping ahead again, sorry, but like when Soa, they're explaining the mini challenge to Soa, and it's literally like echoing because there's no music yet, and it's like Soa and the photographer and Nikki, and there's just like silence.
Yeah.
Like it's just a weirdly edited
The whole
piece of
pieces.
work.
Yeah, I know that all our French listeners just clicked out and they're all furious and fuming and writing twit-longs now, but I'm not done yet. Um,
Oh damn.
I thought that Thailand 3 was bad. Like, I was really Thailand 3's biggest hater because I liked the Queens and I liked Pangina, but I did not like the production of it. France has, I think, taken the lead in seasons that I just actively am so disliking because of everything you've mentioned. A lot of the setup of this is sort of like something is happening on the screen. Someone's dancing really fiercely. And then it cuts to a girl saying she's just doing so bad. And I think, what are we watching?
Okay.
Or like someone will do bad.
Periods twirl on that, sister.
Right.
Because like the thing is, I want to reiterate, I have never, and there's so many seasons of Drag Race now.
Mhm.
I've never watched a season or an episode of Drag Race and been like, this is a bad cast of drag queens.
Right.
But it's always like, I'm not enjoying this.
Right.
Because like the best seasons of Drag Race and what got me into Drag Race is the escapism and fantasy of like a huge celebration of drag talent.
Mm-hmm.
They're funny, they're emotional, they're everything, and like immersing you in that world. And I think editing is a huge skill
Totally.
in presenting that immersion.
Mm-hmm.
And like I will say, the old seasons are very heavy-handedly edited. But even
Mhm.
like as like when I was younger watching them, like I was in it.
Mm-hmm.
But I was in it to win it,
Right.
you know. But I just feel like the problem is it's never the women themselves, but it's just like the way that you're presenting this package to me. I can't like celebrate it the way that I should be able to.
Right. And even if we know that Drag Race is mostly a fake competition, there's still elements that feel kind of genuine about it all in the US seasons. And then I think another thing that they do a good job at in the US seasons is building a story. This character is going through this journey through Drag Race. Alyssa and Coco, season 5 is great as an example of this. Alyssa and Coco are feuding because they've got this external drama that is boiling up in the competition. So we see them naturally progress through these challenges, kind of on polar opposites of each other through the whole season, and always sort of at each other's throats.
Yeah.
While others are eking past them and taking camera time and taking wins, while they're just battling each other. They're Super Smash Brothers on Hyrule Castle, fighting.
Yeah. And also like, because even then there's narratives and there's perspectives and there's opinions.
Mhm.
But what's weird with a season like this, and other seasons have this problem too, is I think there's also a problem with like like the direction we are moving in, like culturally, and like maybe not, I want to say like our media literacy, but like things need to be explained to us differently than it used to back in the day. And I feel like that has also made its way into the editing of programs because things need to be like drawn out a little more like concisely sometimes. But like what you're talking about with this season is like there will be a performance and you'll get a super negative critique about it from one person, a super positive critique about it from another person.
Right.
And then like nothing happens with either of those things.
Right.
And it's like, I don't care if those things were said, but it's really confusing when you're trying to enjoy this for what it is. And the editors are telling you one thing. Oh, wait, no, they're telling you another thing. Oh, wait, no, never mind.
Right.
And it's like, wait, what were y'all doing there?
Yeah.
Because it's like, you kind of can't not like ignore that because editing is meant to guide you through the process.
Yes.
And the process you're guiding me through is very chaotic. And because Drag Race US does that, the subvert or the like gotcha, but it's when like it's either in like a coming up later or at first before you understand what's happening.
Right.
But then it's like, no, now we're just mixing opinions into a unified edit and it's becoming confusing.
Right. And I don't necessarily rely on the edit to inform my decision.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I have had so many conversations where you're like, you're crazy for that. Because I'll look at a performance and from my evaluation, whatever the show wants to tell me, I think it's good or bad.
Yeah.
And so I don't need any external factors to help guide my opinion, but it certainly makes the viewing more pleasurable if while I'm perceiving something, I get a through line. The girls all feel this is not good.
Well, yeah,
the judges feel it's not good.
If you're not in the room, you do want to know, does the room like it?
Right.
And at first you're hearing, oh no, the room is not enjoying this performance. And you're like, oh wait, no, they're living for it.
Right.
And it's like that kind of affects your perception of it. I mean, that's editing, that's everything. But
yeah,
like I'm saying, like you're not in the room with them, so you can't be there to actually see it. So you are relying a little bit on what's being told to you. And when you're getting different perspectives at once, it does kind of like confuse you.
It's confusing. That's a great word. And then I think my last big problem, then we can finally talk about this. My last big problem, and Nikki, I know that you were like on your last thread, and I know you're probably done listening, but
yeah, she gave up.
She gave up. She's done. I feel like Nikki in this season, maybe she gets better in 2 and 3. I feel like Nikki is neither a good host nor a good judge.
Damn.
So every season of Drag Race, some are just better at certain things. Like Fred is a great host, but a shit judge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Supreme is great host and great judge.
Yeah.
She's present and plugged in the room. She's present and plugged in with the critiques and with the performances and knows how to blend those. Rue is a better host than she is judge, but she's not a terrible judge.
Yeah.
She just chooses when she
doesn't
likes
judge
things.
much.
No. And then, who's another one we perceive? Priscilla is a mid host. You were like, who's Priscilla? Who is that?
The confusion on my
Mother
face.
Brick.
Mother Brick.
There you
Mother
go.
Clay.
Mother Clay.
Well, she's still Mother Brick.
She is a kind of mid to bad host in season 1, but I feel like she was a pretty good judge because she was always just very harsh with everything, but she was always harsh. She didn't pick and choose.
She was
people.
consistent.
Exactly. I mean, calling Avant-Garde a truck driver in drag. She
Hateful.
was just kind of hateful and mean, but at least she was hateful and mean with everybody. She didn't pick and choose, I'm going to be nice to you.
Yeah.
But she was not good at the hosting side. I feel like Nikki is so reliant on her cue cards. Every time it shows her reading anything, she's looking at another camera, not at her camera. And she's reading whatever it is. And then she'll pan to the girls and say her line, and then she's back over to her cue card because she hasn't learned them. So that kind of ticks her down on the host side. And then we get into judging, and she has these moments where she, I think, is plugged in. And then I think there's other times where she's like, am I doing this right?
She's thinking about it.
Exactly. She's thinking way too hard. And so then she is disconnected. So that also kind of pulls me out of the fantasy because I'm like, I want to root for the girls and I'm here for them. But also the host is 40% of the show.
Yeah.
You've got to guide the TV program through the challenges, through the minis, through the runway, through the critiques. You're the glue that holds it all together, while the girls are your, what is that called? Your variables.
Yeah.
Nikki's the constant. The host is the constant, right? And I just feel like Nikki is kind of more of a variable than a constant.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
No, and
Science.
I'm thinking because from another perspective, I never really thought about that wasn't really ever a problem with Brooke, I feel.
Mm-mm.
And it's interesting to think about because she, even in her first season, she was not the sole.
She was one of 4.
Yeah. So she didn't, dominate the room in the same way, but yeah. And but still she was the first to do what she did.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm sure there's a lot of pressure. I mean, there was, but I feel like you never really saw the thought process of it with her, the catching herself in the moment of it, or presenting herself in the moment of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, I get it. I would do that.
Mhm.
That's why I'm not hosting Drag Race.
Right.
But
Me too.
it's interesting to think about because I never really thought about that with Brooke.
Right.
Um,
Because
so I
even
get
while
that.
like other people are walking the runway and doing CoverGirl and announcing everything, Brooke is still holding pretty firm that it's like, you know, she's kind of running the roost.
She's very present in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
She's very like engaged in the now.
Right.
She doesn't look back. It distracts from the now.
Exactly. And when she's delivering her judgments, it's all very fair and even. Except, you know, when she's like doing her RuPaul, I like you better than the others. She's a pretty good host. She's very charismatic and present. And not that Nikki's not, but she's just holding back somewhere, you know? And none of the other hosts up until now have done that.
She needs to take the Lucy LaDuca serum.
Yeah, I just have delusional confidence. I won 5 challenges.
She needs to let loose.
Okay, so now that we've talked and monologued for what, like 20 minutes or something about negatives on France?
Now that the France women are in tears, La Brioche was so excited to listen to this episode with us, and now she's just absolutely devastated.
Okay, but I might say a lot of positive things about her.
We love her.
Yeah. Love Pink.
Love La Brioche.
So shall we? My notes went and scrolled all the way to the bottom. Okay, so our very first episode of this first season of France is Bonjour, Bonjour, Bonjour. I also need to say I don't speak any French or understand the accent, so I'm going to butcher a lot of things.
I don't speak French, but I can if you like. Ah.
But if you hum a few bars, I can take it. Okay, so I want to specifically talk about how in the beginning they show all these clips of the entire season. Do you remember they used to do that in the old days?
And now they can't
Race?
because they can't even put more than like the second episode in the super trailer.
Yeah.
Because even like past like once we got into the early teens, it was like, oh, this person makes it to episode 5. This person makes it to episode 6. They only showed 2 looks of this girl. So they have to make it fair and show only the first couple episodes.
Yeah. Because
the girlies go mad with it.
I want to time capsule you to season 7. Do you remember when they dropped the super trailer? I remember counting because Candy Ho had like 7 appearances. So I counted all her looks and found out how many episodes she would be on. I remember when they showed the super trailer for 9, they showed Peppermint in the Peppermint Club Kid. So every week it was like, okay, so they haven't shown this runway, so she makes it another week.
Okay, but even like, let's go back further. I mean, every season of especially Untucked is a huge giveaway.
Totally.
Season 6 Untucked, I remember every season or every episode it ends with the door going, what the fuck is going on, in her diamond look.
Yeah.
That's the freaking semifinals,
right?
And so every time she was in the bottom, season 6, I was like, well, I know she doesn't go home because she has that white
look,
that like diamond silver look. So she either goes home and comes back or she doesn't go home,
right?
And so, like, little things like that, I do get it because it does kind of, like, affect your perception.
Totally.
But
you're not worried about someone going home.
Yeah, it's so funny that other seasons might not be as attuned to that, of the crazy U.S. rabid fans that are going to make the spreadsheets.
It felt very similar to, like, Italia did that, too. At the beginning, they show a bunch of, like, every episode they show, like, a big super clip of the entire season mixed in with season 8 clips.
Yeah.
And like we don't really do that much in any of the other seasons. Like España starts and it goes, hi, we're in the doors. Here we go. No exposition. Here are the queens. Nothing. It's fascinating. So the workroom has a big Eiffel Tower in it. One of my favorite positions. And our very first queen in the room is Cam Yu. She is the chic. She's a drag princess.
Chic.
She describes chic. Can I say initially? And I'm sorry, Cam Hugh, I know you're listening. Cam Hugh out of drag looks like Scaredy Cat out of drag.
Oh.
And in drag looks like a horror.
Oh my God.
Like she looks just like a horror in drag.
She's such a little doll though. She's so tiny. I'm obsessed.
I love her.
She's so funny. She has like a slightly like, I won't say nervous energy.
She does.
But like, I love it.
Yeah.
Because even as she was delivering her tiny little sheiks, I was like, She's just a little young child, and I
Yeah.
love it.
She's very green. I kind of live for her though.
Yeah.
Next in we have La Big Bertha.
Not the
I
sigh.
think when we originally were discussing Italia, I think you got your bearded queens mixed up because you thought I was going to be exhausted by Lucretia Lubamba, and I've been exhausted by La Big Bertha.
She's worn you out.
Not specifically even by her, but by the judge's perception of her. She's getting the same treatment that Lucretia and Ava were getting, is that the judges are holding so much space for this different form of drag that they're outright ignoring mistakes and problems that are happening that other girls in the room are not committing. But they're like holding so much space for her.
Yeah. No,
That
I see what you mean.
she like keeps going forward, and I'm like, stop
Where it's
it.
like, I get what you mean. Where it's like we want to we want to like have every type of drag in the competition, but also we want it to be like, it's what the Boulets say.
Mm-hmm.
We're not here drug.
We're not here to.
We're not
here
here
to do drugs.
To judge. Whoa.
Wow.
To judge your drag.
There we go. We got it.
But as it relates to the competition, because that's very much
Exactly.
the thing. Because like, also because a lot of her drag on the what? Am I okay?
Are you all right? The White Claw's really getting you.
I haven't even
together.
finished her. No, but it's like a lot of like, she had a lot of messaging in her like in her package and stuff. So I don't want to like tick that, but it's more so just like certain things like in execution and stuff where it's like, no, like we can still like love what she's doing, but we say like, oh, I wish you had done that, or like clean that part up.
Totally. I mean, even like I'm thinking back to like España too, where like Girigi was doing really good, but then someone else just was doing better. And they didn't judge Girigi based off of like, well, we want to hold space for you. It was like, you did bad, you're in the bottom.
Yeah.
You know? And La Big Bertha, I feel like, gets a lot of passes.
I will say though, I feel like her package in this first episode was really, really strong.
Yeah,
I think
totally.
she comes in so strong.
Hot. Very, very, very hot coming in. We have Ellipse coming in. She comes in. I had to pause the episode.
Did you
and
think her name was
scream.
Anastasia?
I did.
I wrote that as well. You'd think her name was Anastasia.
I love that she did Grandma, it's me, Anastasia, with the cloak drop and everything. What a good reference.
So random, because it's like, what does that have to do with you at all?
right.
Other than you just really wanted to do that.
That was on her vision board.
She really just wanted to do that, and I love it.
She said, I'm going to do that, and no one's going to stop me. And I screamed. She looks to me, and I'm going to post a side by side for those of you watching on YouTube. She looks like a girl who was a model on season 13 of Project Runway. Looks just like her. I don't know what her name is, but I think she is interesting. Ellipse is so fascinating because from a competition standpoint, she seems to be doing pretty good up until her point of elimination. But the judges do not seem to resonate with her much, if at all.
Mixed signals.
Mixed signals, indeed. And they kept, I think her like final critique is that she's too green. But I never really got that from her.
Well, and even like beyond just like, if you like someone, you also want to know like what's their like archetype, or what's their role. Like, are they the underdog? Are they like the artsy weirdo? Like, how are they being perceived by the room? Because that also affects how you root for them.
Right.
Because if you're living for what they're serving, like, you'll root for them different if you know that the people in the room don't like them.
Exactly.
Or something like that. And that might even affect, like, in a positive way, how their fan reception is. So it's like sometimes it also does a disservice to these queens to not have a proper editing package showing us, you know, the breadth of their presentation on the show and like how to feel about it all. Yeah,
Ellipse is an interesting one. She lacks quite an edit through the series. Next in, we have my absolute favorite, Lolita Banana.
Queen.
She is from Mexico, and she's a host of Drag Race Mexico. So I was gagged that she was in France. Gagged, Jess.
There's like it's like an eye for an eye. US had a French girl, and then they sent her to host France. So then France had Lolita, and they're like, you can have this one over here. We'll pay it forward.
Yeah.
It's the person in front of them in the drive-thru paid for their
Starbucks.
food. Yeah. So they paid for the person behind them, and that was Lolita Banana.
So where
and
is
now someone
Valentina
on
gonna
Drag
go?
Race Mexico. Oh no, I was gonna say a contestant on
Drag Mace.
Drag Race Mexico season 5
Uh-huh.
is going to host Drag Race Iceland.
Oh my God,
There's going to be
maybe.
an Icelandic girl on Drag Race
Probably.
Mexico, and then she's going to get a gig hosting Drag Race Iceland.
We have 4 girls this season that I know of based off of outside of France 1.
Yeah.
So this season was interesting for me, like very Doctor Who tea, where I'm like, I know you from somewhere
Oh
else.
wait, I know you.
Because next in is Soa Demuse, and I know I didn't watch Global All Stars when it was airing, but I saw a bunch of clips. I know of Soa from All Stars.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wait, I know you're like fierce though.
She's so fierce, and I don't even think Global All Stars really fully gave credit to how much fun she is and what a hoot she is.
Yeah.
I love me some Soa Demuse.
She's fabulous.
She's a great time. I mean, same can be said for Lolita, but great time from the minute she enters the room.
Absolutely. And the 2 that they pull from this season, because next in is La Grande Dame, these 2 queens, I understand why they were pulled to be in front of Rue, because they've got the right energy that Rue, I think, would connect with.
Yeah.
Like La Grande Dame's got this weird, crazy, psychotic energy about her while being so fashion and glam.
Yeah.
And then Soa's just like cool, unbothered, just is doing life and drag the way that she wants to and is unapologetic about it. And that is also very on brand for Rue.
I also love how the girls kind of immediately didn't know what to do with La Grande Dame with her. Hi guys. Everyone's just like, oh, like,
Ooh.
yeah.
I understand her promo look now from UK versus the world.
Oh yeah,
The beads.
Yeah,
You mentioned that was a
beads.
part of her branding, and I didn't
The
understand
beading
at
of
the
it all.
time. I loved her.
She's fucking
in
funny
UK.
from the jump as well, but she's
Yeah.
funny on this season too.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like it's like not translating in the same way.
No, the edit is not really
But
doing
she's
her a
so
lot of
funny.
favors. She is hilarious, and she's like a little weirdo
She's so
freak.
stupid. Yeah.
I'm obsessed. We have Lova La Diva, who, when she comes in, Cam says a badly styled wig is entering the workroom.
Crazy.
Crazy. That made me love Cam. In that moment, I'm like, okay.
But she just always has that like smile. It's very the Blue Hydrangea school of like sniping from the side, like with the
Yes.
smile, like very Blue on UK versus the world,
Yeah.
where she's like asking Jimbo like, did you basically like tap out, like you just like throw it, but like with a smile, like it's so like shady cunty.
You normally so hokey pokey
Hokey
with your lip
pokey.
syncs. So Lova's been doing drag for 12 years, and they're already sending a lot of shade in her direction. Like they're definitely giving her the what was her name in Italia, the one who went home first?
Yeah.
God, they're giving her that edit.
Miriam, not Miriam.
Not from the Bible.
Ari.
Nope, we're not even close. I'll remember it
It's
eventually.
all right.
Ivana Vamp.
Ivana. I was
Ivana
like,
Vamp.
there's like it starts with a E. And a.
Someone who had been doing drag for a while and then was just like the one that they were sort of object of obsessioning out of there.
Yeah.
We have another girl that I know, La Kahena. She starts by lighting her hand on fire. I know her as the pork chop of France, so like I was already expecting her to go home, and I'm like, okay, what is she gonna do? I'm sorry, La Kahena, I know you're listening. Why did she look older here than she did in Canada versus the world too?
No, for real, because when I saw her, I thought, no, she had, what is her name?
Norma Jean.
No. We haven't gotten to her yet, but she
Okay.
goes home in UK, season 3.
Oh,
Anubis.
Anubis.
She's
No,
giving
we
me
did. We got
Anubis
her.
tea where it's like, are you 21 years old or are you 40?
Right. Very that tea. She looks so much younger.
Especially, it's just the way
In
she styles
Canada.
herself because
Totally.
she has gorgeous skin and like she has really cool features. I think she has a really cool face, but it's the
Yeah.
way that she like frames her face sometimes with her head wraps and stuff. I feel like the way that she like the line that it's at, it's like a wig line thing.
Totally.
It's like when girlies have the wig line, it's the exact same. I feel like sometimes they give themselves either like Rihanna forehead or like no forehead, and that like makes the proportions of your whole face look different. And then
Totally.
like also like she's not super like her face isn't super shaded.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like you look at her, like you can tell she's in drag,
Mm-hmm.
but like you don't see a lot of like depth in like
Totally.
the face. Like
She's
she's
one
so
color.
gorgeous. Yeah, but like yeah, there's not as much like because some of these girlies like Brioche is painted
Mm-hmm.
every which way. I love it.
Everywhere.
I love her mug,
Yeah.
but it's like it is a contrast.
Yeah. Well, and that brings us to our next one, La Brioche. She is a trans woman, and she looks like Drew Barrymore at like 18 years old.
Period.
She looks like Drew Barrymore, and like, what is her name? Who played Cindy Lou Who?
Taylor Momsen.
Taylor Momsen. She looks
Period.
like them, like blended together.
Period. I love that.
I'm kind of obsessed with
No,
her.
I think she's a hoot. I think she's so fun.
Yeah, she's really cute and silly, and the judges did not love her either.
No.
We have our winner next, which is Paloma. She comes in with like this really big winner energy that
I was
drag
about to
demon look was
say
hot.
she came in total winner it girl energy.
Totally.
But also them too, they were all like, oh.
Yeah.
Her lips looked like she was gonna cry at one point. She like put her hand like over her mouth like she was emotional. Like, do y'all know her? Like what's happening?
That's the other thing too. Normally when they know each other on seasons, they make a big deal about it. But if any of them knew each other, they didn't talk about it.
No, if anything, they just reacted to each other kind of like interestingly at certain times
Yeah.
where some like yelled louder for others or like
Yeah.
like you could tell some of them recognize each other even if they didn't work with each other.
Mhm.
Like I feel like there's definitely some recognition happening, but like not talked about.
It would have been nice if that had made the edit.
I love when they talk about that stuff.
Me too. I think it's nice. I want to say that I think Paloma's great and I think she is really strong. I've always been led to believe that she was like a Carmen Farala
Oh,
or like a Sharon. And I think she is like a Violet, you know, like she's very good when she's good.
yeah.
When she's not, it's like, oh, you probably could have been in the bottom.
She's also so France.
She's very French. I sent you a little meme that initially I thought I was really hateful about. I put a photo of her next to Ego from Ratatouille. And underneath it was the thing from, what is it, The Office? They're the same picture.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, I'm only going to text this to Jess because this is hateful.
Yeah.
And like, I don't want to be mean. But that's who Paloma looks like out of drag. And then in the Snatch game, they do the reading challenge. And I'm almost positive it's Big Bertha says, and by the way, Paloma, I loved you as the critic in Ratatouille.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, I literally screamed it. I'm like, okay, I'm not a
Wow.
hateful cunt.
No, she's got such she's a character.
Yeah.
She looks like her. She looks like Marilyn Manson's gay brother. She looks
Totally.
like there's someone else. She looks like a Tim Burton character.
She 100% does.
But I mean like she's just got such like fascinating features and she
Mm-hmm.
also like leans into them with how she paints herself.
Yeah.
And she's like so like arty and fun. Like I don't know. And she's like not afraid to get like really graphic with her style too. Like yeah, she's very fascinating.
She's very fun to watch this season. We get our first little Nikki mail, and it's presented with a chicken sound. Cockadoodle doo, bitch.
The chicken sound was confusing.
It was. There's got to be something cultural that we're missing. There must be. Maybe they really like
French cock.
French cock. Now hold on. I'm interested in that.
Uncircumcised French cock that Cam's gonna teach us how to feel later.
I'm interested in that. And Nikki says that their talents or their pillars that they're looking for
Yeah.
are charisma, originality, audacity, and talent, which spells cout. Cult. I don't know what that means in French, but it spells cout. So they're looking for a coat.
Coat check.
Coat check. The French pit crew is really cute, but I feel like they don't really get spotlighted too often.
No, but they are gorgeous.
And our first mini challenge is a cabaret style photo shoot. Were you overstimulated?
I was so overstimulated. Okay, it's so weird
Yes.
It's so weird because like it was already weird because they were just posing in front of these men in underwear like lounging around
Mm-hmm.
like city corner
Right.
like prostitutes. Also, we did mention the pikrur and berets.
Yes. Love that.
Still in underwear, but also a
Also
beret because they
berets.
had to drive home that day in France. So yeah, these men are just like leaning like over like fake architecture, and then they're like rushed out, and then these women come and start canning and screaming, and
Screaming.
pretty much every single person has the same reaction, which is look around, open their mouth, be surprised, and then immediately start canning, and then turn around and show their ass.
Every one of them did that.
Everyone just showed their ass and smacked it.
I, I don't know what you're supposed to do in that scenario. Do you just like ignore them? And like it's like the chicken thing in season 6 where they have the
It's
feathers.
giving
You just
me
ignore it.
it's giving me Top Model Cycle 6.
Oh my
The
god.
the one where they're on the roof and they're like freaking with the clowns.
Oh my god.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
But it's like you kind of have to like dance with them and lean into it, but surf cunt while doing that.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody really did that.
No, they all
It was crazy. I literally paused it to like breathe afterwards and to kind of process through what I watched. And I thought this is probably the most overstimulating thing I've ever seen in my life
It
on
was
Drag
crazy.
Race. It really was. Lolita is the winner of the first Friends mini challenge ever.
She matched their freak.
She did. She was the only one who could.
She was
keep
like
up.
splits, can't like.
Being Latina. Bam. And then it's announced that our very first Maxi is going to be a talent show, which I feel like you and I like.
Love a talent show.
Did you love this talent show? It's okay if not, because I didn't.
I honestly liked how much the panel loved it.
Okay, yes.
The panel was super appreciative. Even freaking Jean-Paul Gaultier
Jean-Paul Gaultier
was
for the first
pleased
judge.
as punch for these shitty talent show. No.
Right.
Okay, do you know what I thought was actually really cute? Is to me, it was very a la Bob Mackie, Drag Race US season 1, episode 1,
Yeah.
getting a major designer,
Huge.
especially in queer influence,
Right.
for the first episode. It felt like a very similar poll, and I actually really
Yeah.
loved that.
I did too.
But yeah, I loved how down he was with the dolls.
He seemed so excited to be there. The thing that I didn't like about it, because I don't want all of our Drag Race France listeners to be upset with me. I liked the talents. I liked that the girls were very engaged. Like the panel was engaged.
I liked how unique the talents were.
Yeah, the pacing was weird,
Yes.
and the edits. I did not. I don't really like a lot of cuts during talent shows. I don't mind if they cut for something just for time or whatever.
Yeah.
But the fact that it would start, like someone would come out and then it would immediately cut to the girls going, "This is shit." And then it'd go back to it. And then it'd cut to someone else going, "This is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen." Back to the talent show. Cut to a girl, "Oh, I'm just in tears. I can't believe they're doing this." It was like, please stop.
Not to mention, between every single one of the shots, a cut to Ellipse watching them with her her fuck ass little like face piece with the tiny rivets that she's looking through. Crazy. I feel like they showed her watching a talent show like 5 times with that. Like, what is she seeing through that? Like, it looks so crazy.
What are you seeing with your special glasses?
Yeah, but yeah, it was not a well presented talent show, but I loved how like unique it was. Everyone really did like. It didn't feel like a very generic, watered down U.S. talent show of like, I'm going to sing this song about how I'm fierce and I slay.
And I'm
I
going to
do
stand
this
the
thing.
crown.
A lot of them felt very intellectual,
Very
which I think that
intellectual.
international talent shows do that more in general.
Mhm.
I mean, they still do fierce dancey ones, but I feel like the U.S. doesn't have a lot of room for intellectual talent show numbers.
Cerebral.
Or
even.
cerebral numbers,
Totally.
yeah. Where a lot of these were very that. But
Yeah.
I wasn't mad about it because, I mean, it kind of matches the vibe of the season at this point already.
Totally. I'll skim through these really quick, and if you have any rapid fire thoughts, and then we can just kind of move through this one. Lolita does a song in Spanish, and she dances like Dancing with the Stars level.
I just wrote Lolita Banana is that woman.
She is.
The wig reveal, like mid flip. She gagged them.
She made my mouth drop. She was a great.
She was
open.
so great. She was so great.
Cam does a strip tease to Pretty Woman as a banana, which I thought was so wild to come out after Lolita Banana as a banana.
And then yeah, come out as a banana and do that stupid number and then into the
into then eating a banana.
the musicality of her song was hilarious.
It was so off rhythm.
It was now there's feathers in the toilet and I sleep in a turned over wagon. Is that bad? Like it was very do 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 do. So I loved that.
I kind of am obsessed with her. I can't lie.
No, I was kind of it was very endearing in its own way.
It was cute. La Brioche does live singing and she sounded beautiful. I think her talent is like insane.
Judge immediately crying.
But that wonky eyelash, no one was a friend that
Oh
day.
my god, no one was kind. No
Her
one was
eyelash
kind.
was like, it started at the inner corner and was like touching her eyebrow. No one was nice to her that day. They should have helped her.
I love that back row paint she's got though.
Oh yeah, totally. Her mug is mugging.
But yeah, and the eyelash was eyelashing.
Paloma just kind of like talked and said stuff.
I thought it was funny though. It was very like the Raja wellness coded of like
Very that.
this kind of like weird hippie like scamitude character.
That was somehow really comforting.
Did she look familiar to you?
Yes, but I couldn't place what it was. You've
In
been
that
waiting
blonde
for
wig?
this. You've been waiting.
I wrote it down. Her in that blonde wig was giving me yesified Samantha Ballantines.
Samantha Valentine.
And like this picture doesn't really do it
Oh my
justice,
God,
but
you're
like
so
her face
right.
because her and Samantha both have very unique faces.
Yeah.
Paloma in that big blonde hair
Oh
was
my
giving me
God.
Samantha Ballantines, and she also gave me Samantha Ballantines later in the season in Star France in the acting challenge
When she had the wig,
with the red wig
I
and that gruff
literally
voice.
wrote it down that she looked like Samantha Valentine's on the week that she went home. The one where she changed her wig and her costume on the stage during the lip sync. It was the same wig. I literally wrote down Samantha Valentine's later,
Samantha
but
Ballantines.
it was only because of the hair, and I thought maybe it was just a wig, but I think
No.
you're right.
She's yesified Samantha Ballantines.
She is. Oh my God.
Because I do write that multiple times.
Yesified Samantha Valentine's, and you're so right. Le Grand Dame does a lip sync while balancing a glass of champagne on her head and playing the
What?
sax.
What kind of like stoner ass shit? The like
Psychopath.
the first 5 seconds of her playing saxophone was this like kind of like transient like space music, and then she's playing saxophone, and there's a champagne flute somehow like tucked into her wig because she is bobbing her head around and it is not falling over. So I don't know what she did, but it's just in there. I also am confused. I don't know what's happening, if this is a reference to something, because one of the girls says something like, "Oh, we've seen this," or like, "Where have I seen this?"
Oh yeah.
And I was like, "Wait, what? Is this something? Am I missing something? Am I missing cultural spark notes here?"
We need a Clef Notes.
I need my clef notes.
And
I
that's
need my
a
clef
lot
bar
of the
notes.
problem is that this season does these weird cuts to like a critique or a confessional or something with zero context.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I need some help. I need to know what this is. Ellipse does a lip sync.
So this was the one with the differing opinions from the girlies.
Yeah.
I'm team Lolita Banana though, because like, what was that?
What was it?
Because Lolita was very confused. I was like, yeah. And then everyone started living for it. I did not share the sentiment of being like gagged.
Yeah.
That's why Lolita Banana got the judging gig.
Right.
She clocked it.
She did.
I didn't, not that I thought it was awful, but I was just like, okay, she like revealed into red.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just thought it was
Okay.
I just thought it was interesting.
Ooh.
Yeah, ooh.
Soa does a live singing. She had so many layers and levels. That Hyacinth song. Ooh. It
It
made me
it was very
shiver.
like cabaret intimate. Again, like could never on US.
Lounge singer.
It was
tea.
that's why I was also it was very like intelligent and like cerebral because it was like more like content over form. Is that the
Yeah,
right way to
I
say
think
it?
so.
Like the way that like it was more of an emotional performance than a technical performance,
Mhm.
but in a good way.
Yeah,
Because it was very much like musical storytelling. What was the wig?
that's a great question.
What was
The
the
wig.
wig? Because she was singing this really delicate, heartbreaking, beautiful song, and then the wig,
And then the wig.
and then the wig was like when you make candles, when you go to like the old town reenactments, and
Uh-huh.
you can dip the little wick in the wax, because it wasn't mop. It was so unique. It was like it was giving the dog breed that's
I
got
know
that
exactly what
that
you're
like
talking
that
about.
so because it's almost dreaded, like it's like a micro dread of
Uh-huh.
like those like little like I don't know what that texture is called,
Yeah, I know what you're talking
where it's
about.
the like the little noodles,
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
little white
The little
noodles. She
noodles.
was giving that pup, and I was confused,
I was too.
but I wasn't mad
It
about
was
it.
somehow very French, though.
This like LBD,
Yeah.
and then this statement wig.
You've heard of a statement
It's
hat?
like a more like
Statement
classy
wig.
version of like the Australian foam wigs.
Yes.
Where it's like, yeah, we all know this isn't hair,
Yeah.
but like get into it. It was like a more like French, like intelligent approach to that.
The foam wig is such a good cut. God, what a good cut. Lova La Diva just gets on the mic and talks about how she used to be
it,
in a wheelchair and how she's standing on heels now.
it had very early season stand up energy.
It was
It
so
had like
bad.
season 3 stand up energy.
I think it was like Jasmine Masters energy, like
I
talking about
remember at one point she was
farts.
like, I don't even know where I am right now. Or something.
Yeah, and the judges were confused too. But Jean-Paul Gaultier was like, "Uh-huh."
He loved every single
He was trying
performance.
so hard to
Oh, when
just love
Big
it.
Bertha got completely naked, he was like, "Yeah, awesome!"
Right? Good job.
He was down for anything.
Totally. Like Hannah, I'm still wrapping my head around that performance, and I still don't quite know what I perceive.
Okay, I laughed out loud multiple times watching it.
It
Starting with
was so
you are a
crazy.
young fag who is drunk. Her soul as a disembodied like red flame speaking to her, calling her a drunk fag in the street, and then she like has her transformation. She comes out behind the curtain and does the fire thing, but it's so like sudden and like whiplashy. That's like what,
Right?
and then like talking to a beat, like describing like herself.
Question mark.
Question mark? It was like a weird like runway voiceover. It was so confusing.
And then she becomes a queen, and then they run away. It was so confusing. I don't understand what I watched. It was very cerebral, but maybe more than it needed to be. And also, hers felt like it lasted a long time compared to everybody else.
Yes. Well, I think someone said that as like, damn, that was long. Hers was long because like
And it didn't do anything.
there was the skit in the beginning, and then there was the middle part, and then there was the part. It just kept going.
And there was fire. I was confused. I understand why she's a pork chop. And then La Big Bertha does a striptease and then gets a phone call. And does this like funny little performance where the guy on the other side is saying that she's a man. And then she's
Yes.
like, every time she goes, oui, oui, oui. I thought it was very funny.
Yeah, her little high voice, her little feminine voice.
And then she like announces that she's no gender. She's a drag queen. And then fully strips to nude. And I'm like, this is everything.
Jean-Paul Gaultier loved it. I mentioned earlier, he was like, yes.
I kind of lived. I thought it was interesting after everything was done to see the judges like reacting and taking their notes. They don't typically do that.
Yeah.
Sort of like immersion break.
It's very pageanty or like very like true competition.
Yeah. And then our runway is, or parade as they referred to it, is Freedom, Equality, and Jean-Paul Gaultier. I'm not as familiar with his works as I ought to be for someone who loves fashion, but I loved this runway.
I mean, I feel like the American audience mostly only knows his like Madonna stuff.
Hmm.
Um,
And
I
there was a lot of Madonna.
Yeah. Madonna, Madonna, Madonna. I feel like we don't have a lot of in America, a lot of like Gautier
Hmm.
references. It's mostly like what Gautier did for like American celebrities that
Totally.
we in our country like have as a point of reference. But
Yeah,
Slay.
I was fun. I loved La Brioche so much. I love this little
Yeah,
like butterfly corset.
gorgeous.
She looked really pretty. And then I mean, Soa was
So
so hot with this braided
so
hair.
fierce. She was so a slay. I mean, I honestly thought pretty much everyone looked good. I feel
Mhm.
like the expectation of it being in front of him was very much weighing,
Mhm.
but I thought everyone looked really cool and interesting. But I do agree. I thought Brioche looked really gorgeous. I love the color palette.
Mhm.
Um,
Say it.
no, I agree. I think the two are the two that you said were the two for me. I love I just love looking at Paloma.
Yeah. Paloma's
Paloma's
just
face
beautiful.
is just she's such a hoot to look at.
She looks like someone here too, and I couldn't tell you who she looks like.
No, yeah, but it's just like that face is just something else. I'm obsessed with it.
I'm kind of obsessed with this ellipse look. I couldn't tell you why.
I love it and hate it.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Do you know, I think she's giving what Aiden Zane thought she was giving.
It's totally Aiden energy, isn't it?
Is very Aiden Zane coded, no?
Yeah, very much so. So then Nikki says a line that I think is actually quite fun. She says who's the top, who's bottom. She says, if you're on the stage, you're either in the front or behind the others. For some, we say yes. And for some, we diverge. And I was like, yes. Yes, ma'am. Come on, writing team.
What poetry.
Right? I think overall, like the feeling that I had about this whole first episode was a little underwhelming and also a little overstimulating.
Mm.
And so, like, I was trying to give it a chance, but as you heard from all my initial thoughts, I'm feeling a certain way about France already.
Yeah, feeling some type of way.
Yeah. Our first winner is Soa. She wins a 4-day trip to London from Tinder, which is kind of a badass.
Hilarious.
And then our bottom two is Lova La Diva and La Cajena.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to lip sync to a Celine Dion song. Now, I knew from Canada versus the World too that La Cajena was the pork chop.
Yeah.
I knew that initially. And I knew that Eureka swept the floor with La Cajena during her elimination. Did you ever watch Canada too?
Yeah, I did. I did.
Eureka swept the floor with her.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe it was just the fact that she was against Hurricane Eureka because Eureka's just such a good performer.
It was the Eureka of it all, for
Yeah,
sure.
I thought
Totally.
it's got to be that. Like, that's why she lost.
Or
it's just that La Cajena is probably a worse lip syncer than Charlie Hides.
she's a visual artist, for sure.
She's soft sculpture.
Her mouth was doing soft sculpture around those words.
I did really love that for the first out, the judges gave him a standing ovation.
Yeah.
Because they all stand up, they clap for her, and Nikki even says, like, this is not a defeat. This is just the beginning. And I'm like, Rue would never. Rue would just be like, all right, bye, Irene.
Right.
Bye,
No, it was
toodles.
very sweet and respectful, I thought.
Mm-hmm. Any final thoughts about the talent show?
It was a hoot. I'm very happy for Soa, but I also think Lolita
Lolita totally could have won.
Lolita Boneta.
Lolita could have won. I think it easily could have gone to La Brioche. They were both
Period.
wonderful.
Yeah, a lot of really strong performers.
It seems like they're setting up Soa to be an endgame player already, which is probably why she won it. But I feel like there were other challenges that Soa could have won.
Yeah,
You know?
totally.
And then the storyline they give her is so strange through the rest of it, which we'll get into soon. Episode 2 is Queen Porcent, which is like a riff off of a French TV show, which I'll explain in a moment.
Call the agent or call my agent or whatever.
Right. I also got an ad for Canada 3 and I was so excited about that.
Period.
I saw
Yes.
Fierce show up on my screen and I'm like, oh, my queen.
It's almost time.
My like trifecta of Drag Race girlies of like TV drama are like Fierce, Xana, and Alexis Mateo.
Oh my
like
God.
the three of them are like my holy trinity of TV girls. I love me some Fierce
Period.
Delicious. Our mini is like this rock and roll quick drag challenge, which I hate quick drag, but we had Drag Kings.
Drag Kings.
For the first time ever.
I know. Of course, not in a US season, but loved it.
Yeah, and I love that it was a lip sync challenge.
Yeah, it reminded me of the rock challenge from 12.
Oh, totally.
No, 12, sorry, 13.
Didn't they do a
The
karaoke
one where Tina
challenge?
Burner shook her ass.
Totally. Didn't they do a karaoke challenge as well, like in the UK 3 or something?
Oh, that sounds familiar. Yeah.
I feel like they did like in top 5. I like these performance minis rather than like pop a balloon with your butthole.
Yeah. Did you think Soa looked like Rihanna in that wig? Because Soa, Nikki goes, Rihanna, Soa? And I'm like, was she giving Rihanna
I wasn't
in that
getting-
black mullet wig?
I wasn't getting Rihanna at all.
I was confused by that. I also was obsessed with Le Grand Dame doing a cartwheel and it not fitting in the frame because she's so massive.
She's so big.
Her entire body doing a cartwheel like extended beyond the frame.
She also can touch the roof of the door frame going under the runway.
She's it's so funny. Oh yeah, her for the freaking ball next episode when she has to like duck.
Yes. Oh my god. And then Le Grand Dame wins this.
Yeah.
It was kind of an overstimulating challenge, but it was still fun.
crazy, but it was funny.
It's an acting challenge that's a parody of 10% in France or Call My Agent as it's been translated. It's a comedy drama series about talent agents and their relationships with their actor clients who are mostly like real life folks. It kind of, to me, reading it felt like 30 Rock, kind of.
Oh,
That's kind of like the vibe that I was getting from it. I don't know if the budget is low or they had no studio space or something, but they set up the acting challenge in the workroom. And there's a point where they're like acting and the door is open. And you see freaking Lova La Diva in the background. And she's like touching up her makeup and turns around and sees the cameras are looking at her. She grimaces, makes a face and goes, oh, and then like scurries off camera. And she's like shirtless in a corset.
I streamed from my living room and my boyfriend didn't know I was live. Like,
there's this really hilarious clip of this femme Twitch streamer, and she's like gaming and her chat starts lighting up and they're like, oh my god, and she turns around and her boyfriend is like shirtless and he's like jacked and hot and in like the skimpiest little underwear, and she's like, babe, I'm live, and he like pulls this milk carton and puts it in front of his junk and like scurries off camera and he's like, I'm so sorry. And it was giving that.
I love
totally
it.
Paloma looked like Samantha Valentine's. I literally put it in my notes.
She's not being the Samantha Valentine's allegations with that voice too.
Yes.
I don't have a lot of thoughts, but I think nothing is going to beat the comedic duo that is Le Grand Dame and La Diva.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but first of all, every time Le Grand Dame went, stop France, I immediately started laughing.
Yeah, me
I thought
too.
her accent was hilarious. I thought the way that she emphasized stop France in all caps was hilarious. And
Lova just being post-verbal.
her like post-verbal like trilling crying had me actually in stitches. And it went from not being funny to being funny to then I guess not being funny again to the judges. But it was so hilarious.
I thought they were great. They were so funny to me. I was literally like cry laughing at that. I thought it was hysterical. And then Lolita comes in like this North Star, just acting the house down.
Yeah.
Dancing like a lunatic.
Yeah.
And just carried the whole scene for me. It was such a fascinating moment, but again, all these cuts to like the judges who did not respond to any of the things I thought were good.
Yeah.
I literally walked away from that challenge thinking like, am I not funny?
This is when I started getting frustrated.
Right.
When the first time I started watching, I was like, wait, I actually like really enjoyed the filming of the challenge, but then had a completely different experience than the judges, and that was
Right.
kind of frustrating.
Completely frustrating. It'd be like if in what is it? The Great Gay's Anatomy, if they like lived for the little French baby and you thought that was incredible, and then they hated Gigi and Jackie. And it's like, wait, do I have like no taste or something?
Yeah, like they didn't laugh at like Gigi pushing Jackie or whatever.
Right,
Or was
right,
it or Gigi pushing Jan?
Yeah. Which was so funny. And I literally walked away thinking maybe something was wrong with me. I thought overall it wasn't like cringy or anything, but it also wasn't super groundbreaking either. I think maybe some of the humor got lost in translation, but like you said, I thought Lova was hilarious, the little post-verbal sounds. That's going to live in my brain for a while. Our runway is summer with a floral runway theme.
Yeah.
What a cute idea.
Yeah, and I loved how many different interpretations there were of it as well.
Did you have standouts?
Well, yes. I'm just trying to.
I'll go in order from here who came out. Cam was freaking
Cam was slay.
everything. I love this soft, like Tiffany blue on the white corset. This is Ahura, mama. That's Ahura.
Her mug is so clean. It's so
crispy.
clean. She looks like a doll all the time.
She
In
does.
the challenge, she looked like Goth Megan.
Totally.
I think
Yeah.
I think my two favorites are Le Grand Dame for the what the fuckery of it all, especially that mug, and Paloma. This is probably one of my favorite Paloma looks of the entire season. The velvet thorn like wraparound with
that was
the
really
very
cute.
like 80s red hair, because there's something to me that's very like 80s rocker about her. I loved her interpretation, and yeah, I thought Le Grand Dame's was just like the coolest thing ever. I love the face and hair of it. What did you think of Waluigi?
I was gonna
Waluigi
say
on the runway.
the gamer in me loved Waluigi with the piranha plant.
Well, freaking Nikki was nerding out too.
I loved it.
She was living for the Waluigi of it all.
It was so kind of low budget, but I wasn't even mad at it at all because nobody does cosplays on the runway.
If I would have
anymore.
seen it in the club, I would have given it so much money.
Oh, I would have tipped the house down. Like my wallet would have been empty. And then my unironic, like genuinely loved this. I loved me some Lolita.
Lolita.
And then she did that spin and then the flowers dropped underneath her. It was
Such a
just so pretty.
production.
And I'm like, I must just really be jonesing for like a Mexican queen who celebrates their culture. Because like, I mean, really, we don't have a lot in the pantheon of Drag Race until Drag Race Mexico shows up.
Yeah.
Of these fabulous Mexican queens who celebrate their culture so intensely. And the way that she does it just makes me happy.
Because she also is always doing the most in the most like positive way, like in the best way possible. Like she's always just so extra, and like everything's always to a 10, and like I love it. Like I mean, like with the rose petals and like the performance of it, like she just like stuffs every possible thing with like the most of her that she can, and I love it because I love her.
And me as well. And I feel like maybe I'm just like a blind stan of her or something. But I mean, even in this episode, she's got so much story that she's bringing in, which is why I think I'm responding to her so well.
Such an emotional. I loved her like story as well, and like
being a foreigner in another place, much like Nikki was, and kind of appealing to that. Like, you get what I'm going through.
Yeah,
this is very fun, but also difficult because I'm away from everyone I love, and you understand that. And I was like, oh, I just love her.
Yeah. Well, and I think also like obviously I can't understand that experience, but like the sentiment she shared of like, this is the land of my dreams, but I'm away from my family and XYZ. Like I'm sure that is a story that a lot of queer people can connect to.
Totally.
So I thought, and I think that she's also, again, judge energy, host energy. She speaks so eloquently, even in moments of like emotion like that.
Yeah.
And for how like bombastic and like fun she is, you'd think she would be like just like kind of like a like not that well spoken, because you know those kinds of queens usually when they're like so fun and energetic, like in the moments where you actually need them to maybe be a little bit more sincere, like they're still kind of like
canned.
Yeah. But like in those moments of like vulnerability, she's so like raw, but like very well spoken and very like like captivating. Like
Yeah.
she's just so interesting.
I enjoy her a lot. I do want to say one thing that I thought was interesting was La Grande Dame was told she was saved by the edit because the process to get there was really difficult. And they dance around this in the mainline seasons a lot. They don't talk about how much the edit really helps the girls, but they made a point to acknowledge it this time.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting for someone who makes it to the finale.
But then it's like she's still got like positive critiques.
Right.
So it's like, what's happening?
Right. Why even include that she was saved by the edit if the final product was good?
And it's like, if she was saved by the other, then why was she not just like safe low?
Right.
Why did you still praise her?
Mm-hmm.
It's so confusing.
That's the whole edit. The winner is Paloma. And I mean, I really feel like it could have been Lolita. I thought she was great in the challenge.
I thought
She was great on the
Paloma could have
runway.
won. I thought Lolita could have won. I thought La Grande Dame could have won.
Right. And then the bottom two is extremely confusing because they put Lova La Diva there.
I thought she could
I
have
thought
won.
she was so funny.
She was
She
a
was
breakout
great.
star of this episode. I thought she was hilarious.
And then they put Soa down there.
I will say though, her look was a little crazy.
Oh, Lova's? Oh,
Yeah.
sure. So they put Soa in the bottom because they're like, she was so good last
Yeah.
week. And then this week she wasn't. It's been like 24 hours.
I'm
What do
like,
you
so
mean?
you're punishing her for slaying last week?
Right. What are we talking about here? And again, they're holding so much space for La Big Bertha, who did bad in the challenge and then wore this.
Yeah, I wasn't living, and I wasn't living for how they perceived her performance in the challenge either.
Right.
I felt differently, but I mean, like, I'm happy for her, but I was confusion.
You know what this look is here? This runway look? It's the pre-evolution 2, and I know this meme. Where are the flowers? Turns around, one flower on the
Oh.
butt. Oh. Okay.
It is so Where Are the Flowers? It was cute that like, oh,
Where's the summer?
Well, I know, right? Because it was like R.I.P. my summer body, but it was like, but then it was like the moral story is that any body is a summer body.
Uh-huh. But where were the flowers?
Where are the flowers?
It was the Mama Pao. Who was the queen that she was talking to? Because I haven't watched it yet.
that was Corazon.
What it was? Where are the flowers? I can't believe they let her slide with this look because it easily could have been like if they hated Lova that much, they should have punished Big Bertha too just for the runway because like Soa's runway was good.
I loved her
comparison.
little like rock and roll bird of paradise. I thought that was fun.
Yeah, in comparison, and I think they wanted Lova out so bad. They eliminate Lova La Diva, and we move on to the French ball.
French ball.
The girls are feeling like nobody's safe because Lova went home. And I'm like, damn, y'all are just now feeling that? I would have
Right.
felt that the moment the pit crew came out. The mini is to do a video tutorial on how to make a baguette. This was so
With
crazy.
the like one person doing arms, one person doing body. La Grande Dame and Lolita Banana standing next before they even get to the challenge. Them getting next to each other, getting ready next to each other in the workroom is like the predecessor to her Marina.
Totally.
Because Lolita's literally like up to her belly button.
Totally.
It is hilarious. Like they're getting each other ready for this challenge. And La Grande Dame is literally 2 Lolita Bananas.
Yeah. She's 3 Lolita Bananas.
And then when she's behind her doing the challenge and her arms are like the length of her body flailing
It was the
around.
Kermit gif where Kermit's like
flailing.
Yeah.
Yes, literally.
It was so Ratatouille coded.
Oh my god, Ratatouille.
I thought they were incredible.
I thought they were hilarious. Also, I was obsessed with Paloma.
Yeah.
The third breast reveal.
It was a
The
little
unzip
insane.
and then a third chicken cutlet just pops out.
Insanity. She's so weird and I love her. But a lips and brioche win. I was very confused.
Okay, especially because so brioche is like making fun of some chef or someone.
Yeah, it was very clearly
And
a
at
parody.
first, it looked like they were uncomfortable.
Yeah.
This is again what I'm talking about with the edit. Because at first it seems like she was like almost doing a no-no in the room. Like everyone was like, oh.
Oh no,
But
we
I
don't
gu-
talk about her.
But I guess it was hilarious. Like maybe it's just funny because she was like kind of like making fun of this sweet woman. I don't know. Because like the room seemed like gagged in like a not comedic way. But then
Totally.
it went on to be like, oh, this is so funny. But this is again what I'm talking about of like, because I don't have the cultural cliff notes.
Mhm.
I don't have my Cliff Bar notes to munch on.
Yeah.
I am relying on a little bit of guidance
Mhm.
and
Just a little
what's
cultural
happening.
context.
And so when it's like the first clip they did was like two people like gasping, but kind of like, oh. So I was like, wait, is this bad? Who is
Mhm.
this? What's she doing?
Yeah.
And so I looked her up. I was like, I don't find anything bad about her. Like I'm
Right.
confused. And then yeah, it turned out it was hilarious and it was a steal.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Weird editing, man. Weird editing. And they find out that they're going to do a ball challenge, which I feel like this is a nice size for a ball. Category 1 is my own private France. Category 2 is French clicks. Or cliche.
Cliches.
Cliche, not click. Sorry. I misread my.
No.
No.
Michelle Visage.
And then category 3 is Cannes Film Festival worthy outfit that's made from beach toys and accessories.
Yeah.
And as we know from Countess, these types of materials can be CUNTY. And so I was like, I've got
because
good
she turned it up to
tiers.
11.
She did. She turned it out. I did really enjoy them bringing Kitty in to like do the runway walks with them in the workroom and kind of help them work on that. It was very Canada 1 when they had
Yes.
Stacey do that. And I wish they did that every season. It would just be nice. Week 1
Yeah.
or 2. Give them a little runway tutorial to kind of crisp up whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
So let's get into the lyrics. Let's do each one by one. We'll start with Ellipse here. Her first look is Pride is her France, but she understands that it's not everybody else's.
Yeah.
It's like a little.
I
You
don't
know?
love pride flag looks. Can I just is that hateful? to
No, I
say?
don't either.
I'm like, let's fly it. Let's not wear it.
Right. Fly your freak frag. And then she says she's repping Bordeaux, so she wanted to do a wine dress. And I love the idea of the grape earrings, but then it's just such a simple dress.
I love the grape earrings and I love that weird like balancing tray of wine glasses. But then yeah, just like this kind of like fugly red dress is not the tea for me. I appreciate the color like continuity of it all, like the hair, the earrings, the dress, the wine, it's all super like monochrome and I love that, but I don't love the dress itself.
I love the silhouette of her sewn look, but I just am not featuring the colors.
I hate it so much.
The high-waisted pant is really nice.
The pant is actually really cunty.
It's so good, but then
that
this jacket
green
thing,
loose windbreaker looking top is crazy.
that's like part kimono because of the piping.
It's like a green windbreaker kimono that she tucked into high-waisted pants. It's
with the
crazy.
gloves.
It's so atrocious. I hate it.
And
I'm
you
sorry.
love green.
This is one of my favorite shades of green. I love this like
Lime.
obnoxious green. Yeah. I hate it so much. I don't know what.
With the red lip.
With the red lip.
It's so nuts. We then have Cam next. She does a Parisian pigeon.
Oh my god.
And the little tiny Eiffel Tower in the hair.
the tiny honestly, I mean, like, because there are other ones that are really cool, but to me this is my favorite interpretation of this runway.
Yeah.
The French, like, because it's not like the French stereotypes where it's like more like on the nose, but this is more like it's like finding like romanticism and like their perception of things. But it's like I love it because it's like the cut of it, but then it's like bird.
Yeah.
I just like it's so like cunty. I don't know. Like it's giving me like a musical costume.
It was very
It's
musical.
very like the Beauty and the Beast musical, how they're all like in like historical kind of like
totally see
Renaissance-y
that.
dinnerware, but then they're like furniture. But like this being like a dinner coat, but then she's a pigeon. I
with
love it.
the different feathers on it.
Yeah.
It was very fun. I just can't get over that tiny little Eiffel Tower in
That
her
little
hair.
Eiffel Tower.
The little teeniest, tiniest one. And the scoop of the hair as well. What did you think about the baguette look? Because she specifically designed the corset so it would look like paper. Yeah. These aren't baguettes. These are croissants.
Oh yeah, croissants.
These are the croissants. She designed it so that it would look like the paper that they deliver those in.
Cute.
It was very cute.
Cute, simple but cute. I love her little like croissant hair.
I like the kind of changing up of things because it's a little less covered up. There's a little more whimsy to it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I love the last look.
Yeah.
She was going for like a shark fin type hair.
She looks like she got made over by Ella Vidae. Like this is a makeover challenge, and
Oh
Ella
my
Vidae made her over and brought this dress from home.
This looks like it came out of Ella's package from season 3. Yeah, man, that's crazy. The bubblegum pink with this Nemo orange.
It's weird because it's like, it feels like it should be fashion forward, but it's strangely disconnected.
Okay.
It is so Finding Nemo.
It is. Replace the orange with the green that Ellipse had.
And I'm all in.
And I think that would have looked hot.
And honestly, make Ellipse's top pink.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Next we have...
Or orange, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what I meant.
Next we have the Big Bertha, who does Michelle Visage's favorite thing, a Marie Antoinette look for her first one. They had to set down a tarp for her to squirt.
I didn't like any of her package.
I didn't either.
I thought her package like got progressively worse until we got to Jinx's promo look for season 5. I thought I loved the performance of her.
It's the same pose and everything.
It's literally Jinx's promo.
Oh my god.
I love the performance of her first look. I don't like that it's denim. I don't want to tell her how to do things.
Right.
I appreciated though that like people like sometimes Danny would color her beard in accordance to the look. And I don't love the brown beard with the blonde hair and the denim. As well. The blonde, brown, and denim trio like hurts me.
Yeah. I mean, there's got to be something I'm missing because I love the denim personally. I don't understand the water effect. I don't know why she had to
She's
squirt.
a fountain?
Maybe.
She's la piscine.
But like, is it appropriate to do that on the main stage of Drag Race where you're halting production to squirt? You know?
Period. Is it okay when you're halting production to squirt? It's not
Period.
Okay. I don't like the accordion. I don't like the Jinx Monsoon cosplay.
I
Period.
scrolled by it again and I just saw Jinx and I'm screaming all over again. That's crazy. I thought La Brioche was so cute in her first 2 looks. It's very Cindy Lou Who. She does this like traditional look, which she says is Charentis. I think the fan is cute.
The fan headpiece, super cute. She sometimes gives me like Jennifer Tilly's like little sister.
Oh my god, she totally is that too.
And this hair, this like kind of retro brown hair on her is giving me Jennifer Tilly.
It's very Jennifer Tilly.
I'm obsessed with her French cliche look.
Yeah.
I think it's so fun and silly that she has baguette arms. I think that is very French cliche.
And then she's got this like picnic blanket as like the dress. It's
her
really
legs
cute.
look photoshopped on,
don't they?
Those look like different legs photoshopped on her body.
It's because the stockings have this weird cut on them. They look like they were added in post or something.
Yeah. And then her look that she sewed looks like the most like sewing challenge sewn dress ever.
If
It
there's
is.
a definition, it's
It's
this.
so like typical like low safe sewing challenge.
It is very low safe. That was like her whole package. And they really zeroed in on the fact that she had this weird hem and that the lines weren't clean. And I'm like,
they
yeah,
were judging it like it was Project Runway.
they eagle-eyed that stuff. And yes, it is a problem. But like, is it more of a problem than Big Bertha's?
Yeah, right.
I thought she was low safe, in my
Period.
opinion.
Low safe. Low safe.
Low safe. Then we have La Grande Dame who had to duck to get through the door.
Damn.
Did you live for this first look? This black one? My mouth dropped.
She continuously made me gag throughout this entire season, but this is one of her gaggiest looks all season.
It's so gaggy.
And it's the start of her package. And it's just, I love the dichotomy too of going from all black look to an all white look and then to a colorful look.
Yeah.
It's just such a fun continuation of package. Every look is so different. She sells them differently, but her presentation on this one, like ducking and like duck walking to like clear the runway, it's so funny.
She is such a professional because her boot breaks in the second look and she just walks as if nothing's wrong.
Yeah.
And
right.
She does this monologue in her confessional about how if something breaks during a show, if you can fix it, do it. If you can't, then pretend it's not a problem. Yeah. And I'm like, you are so fierce for that, for just going with it. I did like her bath towel look, and then the pool noodle earrings was really cute. She did a great job.
Really, really well done. Yeah. It kind of, this looks like it would be in the same collection as that look that Arietti just sewed.
Ooh,
and
yes.
one that fish look she did, because it's the same idea of like the blue with the kind of like colorful piping trim.
Very that tea.
But yeah, I love it because it's very simple, but she really like sold it in how she just like styled it with the red.
With the like little tiny titties.
Love the little Lady Gaga perfect illusion under boob. Love it.
And then what did you think about Lolita?
I actually really like her first look.
I think it's really pretty. I wish that the beret was a different color, maybe.
Yeah, not the red beret. It's very... The red beret is very 2000s Disney Channel.
Ashley Tisdale coded.
It's very that coded. That red beret.
I loved her.
It's even a little cheetah girl, dare I say.
Yeah, little cheetah girl. I did love the gold, and I loved like the red accent nails and everything, and I see that her shoe is red. I don't know, maybe if it was like, I don't know what color it could have been, because now that you've said it, I think that is the problem. I think it does look a little early 2000s Disney Channel star. Maybe if it was black, maybe it would have looked chicer.
Yeah, or like she's about to listen to some Nelly Furtado.
She's a man eater. I loved her second look. She says that she loves and hates this about French people, is that they are so in love with complaining, but that they're politically active, and that's what she really enjoys. So she like comes out and she's got this like sign that's just got all these different things on it that's complaining, and she pulls them all off.
So funny.
Production, mama.
I know. She always is doing the most in the best way. Yeah. We love it.
What'd you think about her sewn look? Me too.
Well, okay, first of all, the tights.
The tights are mocha.
The tights are Mocha Diva. She gets 2 shout outs today. I love the color combo. Yeah. I love the yellow and like cerulean ? It feels very summery and bright and colorful, but there's just so much bulk, and then it's like bulk into like flowy, but not flowy where it should be, revealing where it shouldn't be, shoulder where it doesn't need to be. Like, I don't know, because also like it's like she tried to create a line. Like there should be a line that my eye follows from the top of the shoulder down into the like how it cascades out on the sides, but it doesn't.
The shoulders should match those hips, but they don't.
So,
and then what is this line right here on the hip waist ratio? What is that? Why is it sharp and angular? They zoomed in on La Brioché's hemlines and were like, those are uneven. There's frayed edges where there shouldn't be. There's a big old frayed edge right on her
Yeah,
pussy.
you can see that loose string. Yeah.
And then like all down the side, you can see all of this like crinkled bunching.
Oh, I know. That hem hurts me. Some of it looks like when they hem and they're like you're pulling the under fabric. So the hem is like effectively like at an angle from the fabric it's being hemmed to. So you're kind of like pulling it.
And your tension's probably too high.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, how are you going to zoom in on La Brioché's outfit and say, that's hemmed wrong? But then ignore this. That's a huge problem.
Yeah.
And I love her.
Love Lolita Banana.
What did you think about Paloma?
I thought her package was also kind of a knockout.
This first one being cheese.
Oh my God. I love that kind of like olive. Like, it's not even olive. It's that weird like yellow green.
It's very olive.
It's such a like fun color choice with the like kind of like more orange like underpanty.
Yeah.
Love that headpiece.
The headpiece is everything. I would wear that all the time.
And then I fucking love this woman's wig choices.
Her wigs are so fun.
And they're so her. Because she nails that kind of like 90s like quirky character in a movie where it's like the kind of like frizzy like hair. Like, oh, I love it. I love it so much.
I think her styling and her idea of her character is really strong. Her second look, she's got ramen noodle hair.
This is okay. No, this is giving me Soa's wig in the first challenge.
It's very that.
And then they dropped it in turmeric.
I love how clean and crisp the suit is with these spots of primary colors on it.
That orange pump.
Ooh, it's hot. It's so hot. I'm glad that she didn't like infuse purple and pink somewhere on it, because then it would have been too noisy.
She's got such cool styling.
She really does.
Really tasteful, but she picks like really interesting colors to put together, and like, yeah, I appreciate.
This is very like early 90s computer program. Like,
period.
There was this Mickey Mouse like paint by numbers computer game. That's what this is reminding me of. And then her last look is quite interesting as an idea, but it's giving me Raja's pink flamingo look.
Oh, that. It's kind of like a weird like acid doo-wop vibe. Confusing, but cute.
Yeah.
I think our other two are stronger. But
so much stronger. What did you think about Soa?
I love her first look.
That first, she refers to this as West Indian inspiration, and it's beautiful.
Yeah,
this head wrap.
Love the pants. Love the head wrap. Definitely the highlight of her package.
It's a star. And then her second one, she says, is an homage to Caucasian women who might vote against, this is her exact words, who would vote against queer people but have their own hidden vices. And she like does this like get away from me runway walk. And then when she turns around, she's got this lace harness and butt crack showing to like reveal the hypocrisy of people who have their own little hidden fetishes.
Yeah.
But then mask it with Christianity and Caucasianness. And I'm like, what an interesting political message that so many girlies would be terrified to do on the stage.
Yeah.
I lived.
But I love the start with, this is an ode to white women.
I don't care for her last look. But at all.
This is the most sewing challenge look of the bunch.
I thought it was like bottom for me.
Her and La Brioche have the most sewing challenge looking looks.
Yeah.
They both look like, damn, y'all made that.
Yeah. Cam is the winner. I don't know. I think easily could have gone to La Grande Dame.
Okay. I don't think Cam's final look had it.
No.
I think La Grande Dame was viciously, like, terribly robbed. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, she was.
I think Cam did solid, but I think La Grande Dame had this easy peasy lemon squeezy. And then if we're going to reward a package that doesn't have a strong final look, then I think that Paloma had second place.
Totally.
I would have done La Grande Dame, then Paloma, then Cam.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think Cam and like Lolita are on like similar calibers.
Yeah. Something that was kind of annoying to me is that they give critiques to everybody this week. But then next week,
Yeah.
they call one girl safe.
What's that about?
I don't enjoy that. I really don't. It
And that
bothers
was
me.
strange to me.
The bottom two is Soa and La Brioche. And it easily could have been Big Bertha. It could have been, who was the other one? It could have been...
Oh, I forgot about Big Bertha also had a sewing challenge
Big
ass
Bertha was
look.
awful. All of her looks were not good. She was bottom for me, and I thought Soa was bottom. And this is like second or third time where I'm like, Big Bertha should have been in the bottom too. They're holding
Damn.
so much space for her. The song is Pookie by Aya Nakamura. It's a hip hop song, and it was like, damn.
Well,
We already know who's going
it's
home.
been real.
It's been real. I thought that La Brioche kind of kept up. Like, she did a good job.
I thought she kept up. I also feel bad for So because I'm like, damn, I don't feel like you should be lip syncing twice already.
She shouldn't have lip synced last week. She should be lip syncing this week.
Lip sync is crazy.
Yeah. And then I think she wins again very shortly after this.
Yeah.
And the La Brioche is out. I didn't think this was her time.
No, I would have loved to have seen her another week or two, especially since next week is Snatch Game. I would have been very curious to see what she would have done.
She would have, I think, eaten it up. So that brings us into Snatch Game, our last one for today. They do the mini challenge, which I already mentioned. They do the Ratatouille read, which I felt so good about.
Vindicated.
I did. And I wrote this down because I appreciated it as a Drag Race connoisseur. Le Grand Dame turns to Nikki and says, "You must be so happy that a French person is going to win Drag Race." And then Soa goes, "Oh, that's Canada's Drag Race." Because do you remember, I think it was Lemon who turned to Brooke and said, "Brooke, you must be so happy that a Canadian," or maybe it was Rita. Rita was like, "You must be so happy that a Canadian will finally win Drag Race." And they all lost their shit about it.
She's the historian clocked.
The historian clocked. Soa fully clocked it.
That's hilarious.
I thought it was kind of unfunny as a reading challenge.
No, it was very mid. Yeah. It's also weird because 3 episodes isn't a ton of time. I mean, obviously it's a shorter season.
Right.
But yeah, there just wasn't a lot of stuff to go off.
Our Maxi Snatch Game, and it happens on the main stage, much like it did in Italia.
Yeah, is there no budget this time? Anyway.
There's no budget. My only thoughts were, I thought Ellipse was surprisingly very funny. I loved the way that she pitched up her voice. And I thought that Soa and Paloma were incredible. So Paloma's like, she did this woman, and she just is like obsessed with gay people and is holding onto her face so tightly with her one hand.
I think being
just
gay is
mugging.
so romantic.
Right.
I wish I was a gay man.
I want to be gay too. I love it here.
There was such a weird like reality to her. It was such a character, but it was also so real. Like that was a character study for real.
It was.
But Soa making me laugh. Her standing wide eyed like when
Yeah.
Nikki's trying to introduce her and she's like
scared.
Yeah, like standing up until like the end of her intro she was so funny.
It was great. Snatch gaming.
Yeah, I thought she was hilarious. I agree. I thought Paloma was hilarious. I thought Le Grand Dame was hilarious.
She was very
her
funny.
like perma smile. I also I agree. Her lips was really funny. Her character was like, she was charactering.
Yeah, and I wasn't expecting it.
Because Ellipse is pretty chill. Like she's pretty low key. So like for her to like really like go all in on that character, and like her like one of the first things she said was like, "Oh, you need someone to like glam it up or something," and it's this like total like middle-aged woman. I was obsessed. I was living.
I really enjoyed her. Yeah.
Even she fizzled out quick, but even Cam made me laugh at first. Like her characterization.
She was silly.
Looking like the Berries and Cream character.
Berries and Cream. Big Bertha was awful. She was so bad.
Yeah.
And I was like expecting her to be the funny girl.
I also feel like I wish she had picked a different character.
Me
I don't
as
know
well.
this person, but I wish she had picked someone else.
I didn't know anybody. So I was like going in just fresh, trying to enjoy it. And I think like overall, Paloma just slayed me down. Like you mentioned, it was dreamy. It felt real. Lolita is breaking down and is having this like very rough moment on herself because she feels so out of place.
Yeah.
And what I think is interesting about the storyline now is these like moments that happen kind of outside the workroom that bleed into the edit because I don't really understand where this came from because she talks about how Soa mentions that she's like too competition focused and that she's not present with them.
Yeah.
And we didn't really see that happen on camera. We had got Soa mentioning it for like a quarter of a moment. Like you're very present in the competition. You know, your mug
Yeah.
isn't always here. That's all she said.
Yeah.
And then Lolita like cries about this. So I'm like, there had to have been something in the bus
There-
ride or
yeah.
at breakfast or something.
Something we're missing.
Something we're definitely missing. And in Thailand 3, to draw a little line here, there's a moment where one of the girls is like getting upset about something that was said to her earlier on in the day, something off camera.
Yeah.
And the girls get into it and they like fight about this.
Mm.
And I notice in these two situations, the girl that was in the middle of this fight that it was about was someone who was not native to Thailand. And Lolita being not native to France.
Yeah.
And I can't help but wonder if it's like these like slight cultural differences of these like foreigners who are outside of things coming in and trying to just keep up with the language and keep up with the culture that they just get so focused on what they're doing
Yeah.
to try and like make it through
Yeah.
that they're not really like present with the others. And so then
Yeah.
it's taken us. You're being aloof. You're not being friendly to us. You're being too uptight when really they're just trying to like get through their day and trying to like
Yeah.
stay present as much as they can. And I always kind of feel bad for these girlies who are like clearly not of the pack and are trying so hard to be. And you see Lolita like really crack here and break because she's so upset that it feels left out,
Yeah.
you know? Our runway is the day after a night out. This is freaking cool.
Day after a night out. Love it.
Did you have standouts?
I mean, in terms of just Slay,
Mm-hmm.
Paloma,
Yeah,
I loved Paloma's look.
it was very puss.
It was very Penny Pingleton dress out of curtains.
Yeah.
I I actually think Ellipse's look is really cute. It's almost
Death becomes her.
Death becomes her. I almost said
Oh,
drag
yeah.
becomes her. That's Jinx's thing. But like the death becomes her, like how did your drag character die? Like I feel like the death by disco ball is kind of a cute concept.
Ellipse totally did it for me because I do love that. Like
Yeah.
the day after a night out, you were out partying so hard the disco ball fell on you, and then you fucking like walked to the hospital.
Yeah, like-
in your disco dress.
Yeah, into the emergency room looking like this, broken heel, like
And I love when people do blood on the runway. We
Oh,
don't see it a lot.
What do you think of the condom?
So I remember Legrand redid this in UK versus the World.
Yeah.
She did like that huge penis dress that was made out of like 1,000 condoms.
Yes.
And she referenced this.
Yes.
And so I was waiting for it to show up. This was not the winning look for me.
No, it was probably my least favorite look of hers in the season.
I understand the messaging and I really enjoy the messaging of safe sex.
Yes.
Please share that on Drag Race. That's so important in the age right now where people are like, oh, it's okay, I'm on PrEP. Well, mama, that's not going to stop other things. Oh, it's
Yeah.
okay. I'm on PrEP. Okay.
That clip of Jinx. Oh, okay.
Very that. Like, I love this message of safe sex, but I didn't think that it was the winning look, and I didn't think her performance was the winning performance. They robbed her of a win last week, so they gave it to her this week.
Right? They felt bad.
And if the wins were redistributed and given to people that performed well in the challenges, Legrand would have already had one already.
If only the girlies were getting wins when they were supposed to get wins.
Right. And if Paloma had maybe not won week 2, she could have won this week with no problem. Like, just everything is a little all over the place. And Here's where I started to feel myself getting a little frustrated, a little more frustrated than I already was. Ellipse is called as the only safe girl when I think she was objectively the best on the runway. And her elimination next week is all about how her runways haven't been up to snuff. But this was her best runway week. She was really good in Snatch Game. And there was zero reason to send her so low back to the workroom when last week they critiqued everybody when they could have sent 2 people back.
Yeah.
So it's like, now what are we doing here? Because you clearly don't like her. And after last week where she had this big breakdown on the runway, she's fighting really hard to like be present and do good. She was good this week. She was present and you didn't give her any positive feedback.
No.
It's kind of frustrating. So yeah, Legrand Dame wins. I didn't think that was her week.
I like her wig.
I love the wig. Love her hair. And then Lolita is called as safe. She had a really big story this week about how she's feeling so left out.
And they were like teeing her up to be in the bottom.
Right. They give her no negative feedback though that we saw.
And it's like good because I don't think she was the worst.
No, she definitely wasn't. And then they say that Cam and La Big Bertha are bottom 2. And finally, La Big Bertha has to lip sync. But the song was not available outside of France.
Yes.
Have you VPN'd into France to watch the actual lip sync? Or is it not even allowed there?
I don't know if there's like a different broadcast with the actual song. I've seen an edit where they put the song over it to match up, but like it seems like I don't know what happened. It's almost like they did the lip syncs before they cleared the rights to the songs.
Oh.
So it's like if Drag Race had done it and they did Ya Ya by Beyonce from her new Cowboy Carter album that Ariete and Jules lip sync to. But then I was like, oh, it turns out we weren't able to secure the rights to that Beyonce song.
Girl.
So it's like, what, you just put a dub over it? Like, that's crazy.
Right. And this happens again next week. They couldn't secure the rights for at least 2 songs that I've seen.
It's just, yeah, it's
Well, I
tragic.
think the craziest part was that they still had the mic audio from the queens. So you hear them all going like, yeah, yes, to this like GTA nightclub 1,
Like,
2, 3, 4
Party City
instrumental.
soundtrack. Yeah.
It was
Like
so nuts.
weird royalty free music. Like so strange.
Yeah. Cam does this like wig thing where she's like, oh, the wig's not working. So she like waves to everybody and leaves and then comes back like a couple seconds later in a new wig. I thought she was going to Ginny Lemon. And then she did a Dakota.
She came back re-wigged.
Re-wigged. She like went back, yelled at some PA and said, get this off me. Get her off of me.
Get her off of me.
And I mean, I don't know the lip sync, so I don't know who won, but they keep La Big Bertha and eliminate Cam. And I just don't even feel like La Big Bertha was bringing anything so special that they needed to preserve her. So I don't know what they're
funny
holding her
because
for.
like, what is this thing of like, you won, okay, you're in the bottom, okay, you won, okay, you're going home. Like,
Right.
I get that like competitions can happen organically and getting a win doesn't mean you're secured to, continue a competition, but it just feels like they're so all over the place and they aren't thinking about things as they're creating moments.
Oh, at all.
Oh, at all.
So that concludes our 4-episode run. Any controversial, spicy opinions beyond what we've already said?
I mean, other than like the 45-minute, like, deep dive into why the season's a failure, no. No, I mean, I'll say it again. The women are lovely. It's a great cast. It's an awesome cast, but it's just like there needs to be a manual.
Right.
There needs to be a 200-page PDF that's sent to every team working on an international production, just to make sure that we're all on the same page.
Yeah, totally. I feel like the judging seems so pointed this season. Like, it doesn't even feel like natural competition at a certain point.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like, how are we going to get this person to the end? Oh, we'll give them a win here. Oh, we'll give them a win there.
Yeah. Or like, oh, they should have had it then. We'll give it to them now.
Yeah.
XYZ.
Because it kind of feels pretty obvious who's endgame to me. where there are these characters who are doing really good, like Lolita, who are just not getting any recognition. Ellipse in moments where she's doing really good and not getting any recognition. And they just are like, oh, that's nice. Oh, Le Grand Dame, you won. I don't know. It's interesting because, like, even the problems that I thought I was going to have with Italy, I didn't have as many of them.
Yeah.
People really revved me up to hate Italia.
You're ready. I was ready to
I was
do
ready
so.
to do so. People are prepping me to hate España 3. And I'm like, nobody told me I was going to hate France 1. They all told me I was going to love it and that Paloma was the best winner since Carmen Farala. And I'm like, she's great so far, but like, I think there are other girlies who are doing just as good as she's doing.
Yeah.
Like Soa and Lolita are keeping up with her.
Yeah.
But they're like getting dust.
Yeah.
And then they're like, La Big Bertha, oh my God, you're incredible. I love you.
I love you. Danny DeVito, I love your work. What is that from?
I don't know, but I know what you're talking about. Anyway, any final thoughts about France 1 Part 1?
France. Maybe when in cases like this, we just have to put every single girl in an international season so that they get fair trial.
There
So-
are only 4 girls left that haven't been on something.
Well, okay, because Cam, I would love to see her.
Yeah.
Rioche, I would love to see her.
Yeah.
Ellipse, I would love to see her.
Yeah. Lova La Diva would be so funny.
Come on.
That was everything, Mama. That was everything. And I mean, they Duolingo over there, right? Like, I'm pretty sure in France they speak English as a secondary language.
Hey, if not, let's do France versus the world. Find some bitches who speak French and make them come compete.
Right? So, okay, there's like literally only like, what, maybe five or six girls who have not been somewhere else?
What if they got some of the... Wait, I don't know. Do they... I'm not educated. The Canadians who speak French, is their French such a different dialect than France's French? Do you know what I mean?
Like
Canadian
Mexico
French?
versus Spain.
Exactly.
Or like Puerto Rico, where like
because
they're slightly different.
Canadian French seems to very much be her own breed, but I'm like, can y'all French it up with like Cam Hugh and La Brioche and get...
Well, they've got to because Celine Dion.
So true.
She speaks both.
Her web connects them all.
They're connected through the motherboard
Yeah.
of Celine Dion. Like, she speaks both Canadian French and traditional French, I believe.
That's why she was the Eurovision
That's
choice.
where she was. Exactly. I would imagine. So, like, I don't know. Maybe it's only slightly different. Maybe it's similar to, like, how Mexican Spanish is very close to Spain Spanish, but it's just, like, slightly different.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, can we make some magic happen?
That would be fun. France versus the world. And you can like pull in a bunch of the Canadian girls.
Yeah.
But I mean, okay, so we're getting a France All-Stars soon. I imagine just based off of who's here that hasn't been featured somewhere else, I see them bringing in La Brioche from this season.
Yeah.
I could see them bringing in La Big Bertha because they have a huge bone for her. And I feel like they will maybe, I don't know if they would do Ellipse. I feel like it would be Cam.
Ellipse or Cam, yeah, it's going to be one of them too.
Yeah.
I feel that.
I don't think it would be Lova La Diva. I don't see them holding space for her.
I don't think they care.
No. And they might bring Kahena in since she didn't get a good run in Canada.
Or even Soa. Like, why not?
Oh, I can see that.
Because Soa could win.
Soa easily could win. Depends on how many they're doing. Like if they're doing a 9 cast or if they're doing a 12 or an 11.
And also, we don't know what she has going... Yeah, who she's going up against from other seasons. We don't know what kind of fierceness is in seasons 2 and 3.
I certainly don't.
I know there's a woman named Obama in season 2.
Yes, I'm going to vote for her.
Vote Obama.
I will vote for Obama. That is the end for France season 1 part 1. We will finish talking about this next week. And I have a lot of opinions on the following episode. I have so many because I've already started it and I want to talk about it now. We will chat with you very soon. Thank you for listening. Remember, you're doing a great job. You're doing the best you can. And that is all that you can do. Goodbye.
Bye.